Good morning, our beloveds. We will try a new and different approach today. Why are you here? Why do you think you're here? What do you think you have to offer humanity? Not what does humanity have to offer you, but what skills, abilities, desires, and interests do you have to help humanity? And it's not about making the world a better place or even a safer place, per se. How can you love others more? That's the question that we have for you. If you were given either $1 million or $1 billion, where you didn't have to worry about your finances for a time or for forever, what would you do with that money to express your love for others? So let's assume you cannot attempt to change the world, only to love the world. Who would you allow into your sphere of influence, accepting them exactly as they are, and helping and offering to make their lives as comfortable as possible, without expecting, desiring, or hoping for any change within them, unless it was something that they just spontaneously chose or came upon? Would you create homes for the unhoused, where you would just offer them food and shelter and maybe some therapy just to help them to normalize their experience, not to change the experience, but to help them to normalize the horror of what they've gone through? And what we mean by that is not to normalize the experience, but to find meaning in it somehow, so they can be at peace within themselves, and then just allow them to be. What if they were addicted to drugs, including alcohol? What if they had some really terrible coping mechanisms, and you just allowed them to be with those coping mechanisms right now, while you literally just provide the Maslowian hierarchy of needs to be met within that person or those people's support system, without any desire to implement change in the world other than to offer them the most basic services so that they would not die, so that they would be safe in the world in the most general sense, and would be able to maybe move from their fight or flight state? Are we beginning to understand what spirit, what humanity is sharing right now? You are all traumatized in one form or another, just many of you more than others, and you don't realize what fight or flight really looks like. You don't understand dissociation. You don't understand interpretation of domestic abuse, interpartner, intimate partner, child abuse, neglect. What is neglect? You don't even know what neglect is. Do you think that parents giving their children phones at young ages is a good thing, or is that neglect? Are you a herd species? Are you a community-oriented species? Then stop giving your children electronics at young ages, because it disconnects them and dissociates them from the real world and also from their developmental phases. You are meant to learn how to walk. You are meant to learn how to talk. You are meant to learn how to play outdoors. You are not meant to learn how to sit behind an electronic device 8 or 12 hours a day, including the computer. It is unhealthy for all of those who have chosen this path. You are not living. You are dissociating, believe it or not. When you live, your body moves with you. When you sit, only your mind is engaged. So where is the mind-body or body-mind connection there when all you are is a mind sitting behind a device doing mental work without physically engaging in the world? Have you noticed that when you are behind the computer, you disappear into yourself? You lose track of time? You don't really notice your surroundings around you for a bit because you're so focused and attuned to what is on that goddamn screen. It's healthy for a little bit. It is not healthy for a profession. Our another has learned this too as she steps back from being behind a computer screen too much because it envelops her, it entrains her. It allows her to dissociate from her horror of a past. But it is also time to begin to live again, to go for walks around the neighborhood, to be present with other people, to talk to other people, to share a joint experience of living in a co-experiential world. You guys need to see what you came here to be through different eyes. You're not here to save anyone. You're just here to love them. And the best way to love somebody is to meet their most basic needs so they can feel safe within their world. Whether they're actually safe is irrelevant. If you can offer them the most basic survival elements, then they feel safe within their world. And we, the spirit team, can bring them to the next level of their own unique journey. It's not easy to heal from trauma. It's quite painful and uncomfortable at times. But you can do it if you so choose. But it is you who must choose and not somebody else. Because when you're ready, you will know and you will jump through the hoops. And when you're not ready, other people will feel like they're pushing a wet noodle uphill. It just doesn't work. The individual needs to want the healing. And if you offer them the safest space to exist, wherein they can just sit and relax, not waiting for the bear or the other unhoused person, or maybe a young teenager who's not kind and will set them a fire, women who worry about being raped, men who worry about being raped. Feeling unsafe within your own body, within your own home, within your own community, when you are unhoused, is a terrible way to live because your stress causes your body oftentimes to wear out much sooner. And it is not by chance that these individuals have an addiction of sorts, because it helps them to remember what life felt like when it wasn't this scary, when it wasn't this hard, when it wasn't this lonely. And then you even begrudge them that. Let them find peace in a miserable world because you have not offered to step up in a meaningful way. You haven't, it's just fact. You come up with policies and procedures and mechanisms that are so bureaucratic. Where is the love when you lived in a communal society where you showed up and you didn't expect a government agency to take care of it, whereby you could just turn a blind eye to what was really going on? You have lost touch with humanity. You have lost touch with what it is to be human. Because those people who you turn your eyes away from, who you ignore, who are hurt by being unseen, are just a different aspect of you. We have shared on this. If you are the finger, they are the right toe. They are the hair on the right leg. They are the kneecap. They are a part of the same essence of you, much like the bondo tree, where the roots that are unseen is what connects you. And so you with the naked eye simply see, oh, there is another tree, when it is just really an extension of you, 5 feet, 100 feet, or 5 miles away. You don't realize how big of an organism that you really are. And you can't understand what you can't understand because you are meant to be confused. You are meant to seek this out. You are meant to try to understand why you are here. But it is not to die with the biggest bank account, with the most beautiful wife, or the fanciest cars, or the richest husband, or whatever it is that you have believed. Go to college, become a workaholic, sustain nothing in life, and just achieve, achieve, achieve. And then there are others of you who go into the helping communities, but your desire too is to help them to change by guiding them and structuring the processes. But when you are on the savannah, on the great savannah seeking survival, you each get to choose where you wish to run, how you wish to climb, what you wish to do. There are no roads, there are no structures, there are no helping hands. It's just you and figuring out how to get to the next breath. And you know best what is right for you. You within your own inner system, because you intuitively know what you came here to experience. And many have been so blinded by what the nature of reality is, and that is fine. We chuckle, to be honest, because the silliness of what we experience with you humans is almost comical, because each one of you can come up with a really creative and crafty idea of what the purpose of life is. But at the end of the day, it's simply for you to figure out who you are, to come home, to return to center, and to find peace in your life, in your experience, in your journey, and to love all in spite of who you all are. You can love one another from a distance. It need not mean that you are in the same community, in the same household. Nothing like that. But love is a sensation within your body. It's not so much a feeling. That feeling of love that you all call love is more of a self-serving, I like how you make me feel. The real love that you offer and experience yourself is when you just simply extend grace to humanity, where you accept them exactly as they are, not needing them to make you feel any particular way, recognizing that their journey may be a little bit more difficult than yours, but certainly different. And you allow them to flounder and fail and fall and make mistakes and destroy other people's lives, because you trust that somehow it will all come together. You don't enable them, you don't encourage them. And at some level, you don't even hold them accountable, meaning that punishing people by putting them in prison is not the way to establish healing. Consequences, natural consequences, yes, we completely agree with those, but that is different than punishment, which is punitive in nature rather than restorative in design. You guys are getting there. We are watching the numbers tick up slowly but surely, but oh my goodness, you guys have some really funny belief systems right now about why the universe is operating the way that it is. You'll figure it out. Just trust your own inner niggles, not those suggestions from others. If it doesn't resonate, it doesn't resonate. And if it does resonate, then ask within yourself why it resonates. Where are those points of connection? And remember simply, if you hate others, and we mean really hate, wishing to destroy them, if you believe in boundaries or borders on your countries, if you believe in enforcing punitive laws, because others are seeking safety in your country, regardless of the few that come through to actually break the law and diminish and harm others. If you cannot love all, then you are not love yet. No matter what your religious beliefs are, no matter what your spiritual beliefs are, no matter what your cognitive expressions are. If you can't love the least amongst you from another country that is hate-filled and derogatory, then you are not love. It is really that simple. Can you be like Jesus and Buddha and Muhammad and Krishna and all of the other angels and entities who have come here to teach you to be love? It's just that. Be love manifest in a human skin suit by just sharing grace and inviting others in to be shared, heard, seen, and loved in spite of who they believe that they are. And so it is. Namaste.